Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. And today, we are discussing, are you giving off thirsty vibes? Are you giving off thirsty vibes? My very special guest is Miss Sonia Benson, also known as Sonia B, who is a certified sexologist and an intimacy coach who is here in Tallahassee. And she is no stranger to Conversations with Nicole. In fact, our conversation in March of last year was the number one show, and it was what was it? Self-pleasure as a form of self-care, I believe. And so it was the number one show last year. So you all like that topic a whole lot. But so I decided to bring her back, but I've decided to bring her back because she and I have collaborated, and we are actually hosting Cocktails and Conversations next Friday, February 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at the Twin Oaks apartment complex in the clubhouse at Southwood here in Tallahassee. So this event is for the ladies only. This particular one, although we are planning on hosting some co-ed events in the future, but this is a ladies' night out. And so we'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But before I bring Sonia on, I want to hear from you. It is Love Day, Valentine's Day. So for those of you who aren't out with your loved one, or aren't out loving on yourself, we hope you are joining us and want to engage in this conversation. So I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? What city, what state are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and on my LinkedIn, Nicole Everett on LinkedIn. And so this is an interactive live. We fully expect to hear from you. Your comments, your questions are welcome. So again, we are talking about, are you giving off thirsty vibes? All right. So I see some folks, but I don't see any comments, and that's cool. So I'm going to go ahead and share Sonia's bio. She is a well-known and respected certified sexologist and intimacy coach, speaker, and group facilitator, specializing in sexual wellness and female orgasm. Her newest projects include the launch of an online membership, the Pleasure Club, aimed at empowering its members in the arenas of sexual and sensual wellness, and an adult play shop. Cocktails with the Sexologist facilitates the discussion of adult topics and classes in a safe and powerful setting. She previously was on a podcast called Grown Ass Womenship, which normalized conversations around sex, money, relationships, and self care. And she can be found online at cocktailswithasexologist.com. Y'all help me welcome Miss Sonia B.
Hey. I'm so excited to be back.
I am so excited to have you back. Yes, how you doing?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, just excited about love, about the day of love. So
Yeah,
excited for that, and just feeling really good. So yeah, they got some self-care in, so I'm doing good.
that's a
Doing
good
good.
thing.
Yes.
That's a good thing, especially on
Yes.
Love Day. Yeah,
Exactly. Your first love is yourself.
that's
So,
right. It should be.
yes, exactly.
Indeed.
Exactly.
So we have several folks who have chimed in. Miss Rakia, happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for being here. Miss
Yes.
Brittany, my mom down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Ma. Melissa Quick, happy Love Day from the DMV. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. We got our sister, Dr. Tamika Hobbs,
Yes.
being here. Appreciate you so much. She said my favorites. We love you too. Uh,
Yes, sweet.
yes, 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 yes. We have Stacy Baker. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And my godmom in the BK, Miss Gloria Sellers. Thank you for joining us. And Miss Tracy Golay. All right. And Gloria Dennis is on. Hey, classmate. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
All right. So, Sonia, my question is, who are you? Not what do you do, but
Got it.
who is Sonia?
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
I am a sensuous, open, connected, spiritual leader. I was about to say, but that's what I do. Spiritual being that is very much in tune with nature and spirit, God. I'm very open to life and what life has to offer and what life and how to have it be more than what it is. And so I'm all about enjoying this journey and then supporting other people enjoying the journey too.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, let's dive in. I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm ready. Let's dive in. I'm ready. Listen, I've been waiting for this like all week.
Girl. And it's funny because as I told you that as I was so a lot of times when I'm getting ready for a topic, any topic, and spirit has placed it on my heart, we came up with the topic a while ago. Then it's like I get all these downloads. And so I was like, okay, God, okay, let me find my phone. Let me jot that down because, it just starts coming and pouring in. And to me, it's not just about what I have to share. It's also about what I have to learn.
Mhm.
So, to me, spirit has taken me constantly through being able to look at my own self and see what is it, where have you been up? What have you been up to with respect to this topic? And where
Yes.
do you get to go? So, girl, thirstiness. Thirsty. It's
It
just such a fun topic. That's why I love that we came
is.
up with that. Yes.
Yeah.
It
Let's start off with the viewers. Let's ask them what do you
yes.
all think it means to be thirsty? Let us
Yes.
know in the comments if you don't mind sharing. What does it mean to be thirsty and not in the physical sense in terms of you being parched and you need a drink? Okay. What does it mean to be thirsty? What are thirsty vibes? Let us know. And
Girl.
again, safe space, but we
Yes.
want to know what you think. What does it mean to be thirsty?
Yes, girl.
Listen,
Part of
it was funny because when I was promoting this, I found a lot of songs. Normally, when I'm promoting a show, I look for keywords, like I type them in into the music list. There was a
mhm.
lot of songs about being thirsty. I was so
Girl. There's so many songs about being thirsty. And then there's also a lot of songs, and we can talk about this later. There's ways that we're conditioned to be thirsty. So there's some stuff that we've been taught.
Mhm,
Hello.
mhm.
That whole idea of having a man is better than having a piece of
Man is having
yeah,
a piece of man is better than
but
having no
having no man at all.
uh,
Thirsty.
thirst.
Okay.
Okay, all right,
But
all
we're gonna
right.
talk about it.
So we getting some responses being uber needy. Okay,
Yes.
desperate at the moment.
Yes.
Okay. Uh-huh.
hmm
Open for any man who gives you attention.
Girl. Yes. And that's unisex, open to anybody that gives you attention.
That is true. The opposite of calm.
Girl.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. Yes.
Ah, all right. The old head say showing all your teeth. Ah,
Girl.
I ain't heard
You know
that
what?
in a
We used to
long
say
time.
that he got you wide open. You are
Yes,
wide open,
yes,
girl.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
That
show it all your teeth. That's hilarious.
now look at popped up on the scene. Parched.
Yeah,
Sir,
parts.
we're gonna send you to the corner, sir. No. Didn't I just say
She said,
everything
right.
not parched? No, that's not what we're talking about. It's all right. Shout out to DJ Dip in the house. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
All
My
right.
boo.
Showing all your teeth. That is hilarious. I
Girl, showing all your teeth. Girl, and can't stop. Mm.
indeed acting desperate. Okay,
Mm.
cool. All right. Well, Sonya, take
Girl. So I mean, well, as I was taking a look at it, really, I mean, being thirsty is being first of all, I would say it's being out of alignment with yourself. So I would say that
Mhm.
first and foremost. But it's where you show up in relationship in such a way that you show up as desperate, like we heard some of those comments, or needy, or
Mhm.
showing up as it's almost like you're putting the person or the relationship as more important than yourself. So
Mm.
now all of a sudden, it's like you need that more than you need, more than it's important to respect yourself. And we're going to talk a lot more about what it looks like when you're not being desperate and how we get to cultivate those characteristics so that you are not out here just embarrassing yourself out here in these streets.
Please don't.
And actually, I found a nice definition that said, in summary, thirsty vibes indicate an excessive or unbalanced approach to seeking romantic or sexual attention,
Mm.
often leading to the perception of being needy or desperate by others.
Wait, you got to read that one more again.
Okay, all right. So, thirsty vibes indicate an excessive or unbalanced approach to seeking romantic or sexual attention, often leading to the perception of being needy or desperate by others.
Mm. Woo! All right.
Girl, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's,
Listen, I
it's
want to ask this.
clingy.
Look, I want to ask this next question, but I know y'all ain't gonna tell the truth.
Uh-oh.
But how many of us have been thirsty in our day?
Girl,
Mm.
okay. I mean, hello. Hello. I mean, as I mentioned, as I'm thinking about a topic, spirit starts teaching me, and I'm like, oh, like, okay, God, don't shame me out here, because I'm remembering, like,
Right.
okay, yeah, you was being a little thirsty there, like wishing somebody was tapping you on your shoulder and saying, "Go sit your ass, go sit down. What are you doing? Stop it, stop it. You are completely
Woo!
out of pocket."
Out of order.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yep. So yeah, so let's see some hands coming up.
okay, Rakia, I appreciate your honesty, girl. No
Yes.
transparency. It's a safe space, but yes, we have definitely been thirsty. I
Yeah.
want to acknowledge Kiosha. Thank you for joining us and tuning in. Appreciate you. So, all right. So we got a definition. So this is our
Yes.
frame of reference, and just for the record, this is not reserved just for women.
Oh
Okay,
no. Oh no. Oh
men,
child.
men
No,
can be thirsty too. Okay.
y'all know and are hello. Y'all know the thirsty wants to be blowing up your DMs. Come on, let's not act like y'all not showing up as thirsty too.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's an equal sex opportunist,
Equal
right?
opportunity.
Equal
Yes.
gender
Yes.
opportunist.
And so what I was trying to, as I was preparing for this, I wanted to take a look and see what are some of the things that happen when when you're actually being thirsty.
Mhm.
And I mean, some very big ones, and are, and some big ones that actually stood out. Specifically, one, constantly seeking validation.
And you see Keisha right here. I'm not thirsty. I just want a hunch. Thirsty.
She just want a hunch.
That's what she said.
Right. I hear that. And I think that actually some of that, I know that as a woman, it's like of a certain age when you feel like you're mature and it's like I can do what I want to do because
Mhm.
I don't have no mama to saying that I can't go out here, like you said, Keisha, and hunch. However, there's still a way to do that, and that we don't appear like you don't appear to the other person like you just gonna throw away everything, including your self-respect, for whatever you can get.
Okay.
It's like, okay, so I'm just gonna, I mean, cause I agree. I want to hunch too. I'm a sexologist, so I understand. And
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's not thirsty. That's hungry.
oh, that's
Are
beyond
on the
thirsty.
way out. Oh my gosh. Y'all are hilarious to me.
Right, that's beyond thirsty.
Right.
No, but yeah, but I mean, I think there's like a fine balance between being like I'm a grown woman, a
Right.
grown a woman, and or grown a man, and I make my own decisions, and being able to say, am I making decisions that are self-respecting to me, and not from an old school like, oh, okay, you're only supposed to behave in this way, like, oh, you have to wait 6 months before you do blah blah blah. It's not that it necessarily has to follow those rules, but some of those rules were in place not from a really, not to say that they were not using the rules to try to control you, but some of them may have been a good idea
Yeah.
because they would be, this is how a person behaves who actually has a life and who respects themselves.
Right.
So yeah, so there's some balance there in terms of being able to do what I want. And
Ooh, so we got some more folks that have joined us. Miss Antoinette Thompson, thank you for being here. And my classmate, Miss Sharice Du Bois. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for being here. So Kiosha wants to know, what is the difference between being thirsty and being unapologetic about who you are?
I hit a neck, the
See
neck.
that neck turn, like,
I hit a neck as his
right,
as the questions being asked, and I know, and I hear that in terms of the being unapologetic and being clear about what I want and who I am and
right.
what I'm after. However, I think some of that clarity can still I believe that there's a way for us to take a look at whether this behavior respects who I am. So I think you could be unapologetic and still clear. Some people are unapologetic and still like, it's a no. Stay the F, like it's a no, or it's a no for now.
Right.
And like one example, and I don't want to, let's see. So we all know the gymnast, the situation that just happened recently with the gymnast and her husband. What's who I'm talking about? The young lady,
Simone
we had
Biles?
Simone. We had the whole situation with Simone. And
Mhm.
I could hear her clearly when she was like, I just know what I want. I know what I want and I'm going to go after it. But I think that going after a person when you cannot clearly hear whether they're coming after you or not,
Mhm.
it causes you to maybe not be able to notice red flags because you are so much clear about what you want. You are not listening to how the other person is perceiving you. Now, for some of us, if you don't care how that person feels, because like if you like Keisha, I just want to hunch, and you don't care whether I see this person again tomorrow and how they respond to me, or whether I'm trying to create a relationship with them, then yeah, then you might be fine doing that. But if you are really trying to create a relationship where there's respect, there's there's an opportunity to consider, how is this making this person perceive me,
Mhm.
and is that perception what I want? And
Bingo.
that's a real thing.
It is a real thing. Let me pause. Lacarsha's joined us from Pensacola. Thank you for being here. And For Love Production says, I say wait 3 months to get to know him first. It sounds
That,
sort of Steve Harvey-ish.
yeah, it does. That's that 3 month rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that I don't think it necessarily has to come down to a specific rule that says that you need to do these specific things. But
Mm-hmm.
there's an opportunity to take a look and say, all of our behaviors are communicating something. It's not just your words, it's also your actions. And so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and sometimes if we're not necessarily thinking, we're so eager in what we want and what we want to enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
that we're not necessarily thinking that understanding how that eagerness might cause a person to perceive you, and how they may downplay your value. Because part of your opportunity in creating your relationship is also you standing clear in your value. And so one of the things that came up for me that I felt like was a download from spirit is that we're out here calling ourselves queens, but a
Mm.
lot of people are not operating from a queen space.
Well.
And not to say that that means that you cannot have sex and that you cannot have sex when you want to, but queen says that I am expected to be treated in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us, one, are not treating ourselves in that way, but certainly are maybe allowing other people in your space to get away with not treating you in that way. So it's like giving lip service to being a queen.
Good point. Good point. For Love Production said, I had the rule since 91. Steve got it from me.
I know that's right.
And Dr. Monica has joined us. Thank you for being here, Dr.
Hey,
Monica.
Dr. Monica.
So you brought up a point that I thought was all right. Let me, Keisha, I'm gonna get to your question in just a moment. That I thought was good in terms of value, because I feel like oftentimes there's a double standard with men and women in
Mhm.
terms of, men can kind of just be sleeping around, and it's actually looked at maybe as a badge of honor.
Right.
And women who might do the same, they are devalued somehow.
So yeah, so now that then has nothing to do, I think, necessarily with that. Yeah, that can be the standard, but that also has to do with the person.
Mm,
So that might mean if you were to say, based on how I want to be with this person, I want to sleep with them right now, then you also get to listen to how they respond to that. So if that person now is behaving in such a way that they are devaluing you because of that, then you know that, okay, it's time to go ahead and give them, like, okay, this does not line up with my expectation about who I am and how I am to be treated. And so
okay.
sometimes we let a lot of behavior slide because we're like, okay, now you ain't called me back. Oh, now you're doing these things. And now we're getting into the position of pleading and demanding, as opposed to just being clear and stepping.
Great points. Great points. All right. For Love Productions, I am a Sagittarius, and without that rule, I may have shared myself with too many men. I understand that body count is a serious thing.
Got it. I'm a Sagittarius too, girl. I understand.
All right. She said, who's more thirsty? The person who teaches their climax first? I'm so old.
Who teaches their climax first? I think I'm not understanding
Yeah,
this statement.
expound upon that a little bit more, Keisha, because I'm
Yeah,
not.
explain. Yeah, 'cause I can't understand
Okay.
it.
And then Miss Leslie Steele is on with us. Thank you for being here, my sister. Appreciate you. All right. So we talked about alignment with who I am and how I want to be treated.
Yes. Yeah. And so we kind of got off on the path of what, in terms of having sex, to have sex or not to have sex. But being thirsty is so much more than whether you're having sex with somebody. It's how you allow. Oh, it was reaches. Okay, we'll
Reaches.
come back to. Okay.
The person who reaches their climax first. Who's more thirsty?
I don't think that necessarily denotes. Well, so
Yeah,
I guess saying that you're so excited
necessarily.
you have a climax
Yeah,
first,
yeah, yeah. I don't think that
that
necessarily.
may or may not denote
Yeah,
thirstiness. Not necessarily.
not
Yeah,
necessarily.
but I think this thirst can exhibit itself in so many different ways. Like
Mm,
the person who is over texting, you are
mm.
blowing their joint up, and then demanding, "Why haven't you called me? When are you gonna call me? What are you gonna do?" We're not getting the message a lot of times. We're not listening to the message, which says that I want to talk to you every week. If that does not work for you, rather than demand that the person, you need to step it up. You need, or texting for them. Like, you're not gonna text me, I'm gonna text you. It's like maybe decide that, yeah, I don't, then maybe this person is not for me. Like, the way that you're responding to me does not, again, it doesn't indicate to me that you're honoring me, or you're attempting you're responding to me in the way that I view myself.
Mhm.
But often we're not even setting those boundaries for ourselves. So if I'm not clear about my own boundaries, it's hard to communicate those boundaries in relationship.
All right. So again, I'm hearing nuggets. I'm taking notes. So
Yes.
I heard alignment, I heard boundaries. And in order to be in alignment, you have to know who you are and what your expectations.
Girl, there you go. So that's a lot of this has to do with you being in a having a dynamic relationship with yourself.
Listen.
Without that, you really don't even have the almost the stance, the come from, to be able to speak to these things. So if your relationship with your own self, if you disrespecting yourself, you certainly can't demand respect from somebody else. So it does require that you are learning and growing in who you are, and in such a way that you have a pride about yourself, and that you have a thing that says that this is who I am. And it has to do with your esteem and your self-confidence and how you feel about yourself. And
Mm,
often we're out here dating with these things being impaired. Like, We need to have these be at the highest level so that when you're out there, you're not needing to fight with somebody to treat you in such a way. Yeah.
True. All right. Rakia said 100. All right. So Dip said, or text someone, then call and say, I didn't see.
You didn't see my text.
You didn't see my text.
Yeah. Yeah, which is mm, mm, mm.
Listen, some of y'all phone service is crazy. So it had y'all looking crazy because maybe the text didn't come through for real. Y'all be out here like stressing, tripping because the person didn't see it or didn't call you back or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I don't know. I think you just got to have enough of what we're talking about, this dynamic relationship with self, such that you're okay if there's a lack of response because anything could have happened.
First of all, anything could happen. So give them some space and some grace that possibly they just may not be able to respond.
Mm,
And then when you do get the explanation, you run that through your filter of, does this work for me?
mm,
Often we're not asking the questions, does this work for me? We're just trying to demand that somebody give you something that clearly they're not willing to give you in this exchange. So,
mhm,
so it's a matter of saying, okay, um, you know, uh, it's almost like we need a model. Like,
mhm.
this is my model in my head of how I am to be treated, or how a queen is treated. And then I'm looking for whether you match that model or not. And when I see that, okay, nope, this ain't it. So and be okay with saying no.
Be okay
I
with
don't care how cute, how attractive, how sexy.
it.
Like, this doesn't work for me, because the truth is it doesn't.
Hmm. Does not.
Everything that glitters ain't gold, honey.
Everything that glitters is not gold. Keisha said, "Damn, what you doing to them ladies?"
Right. Got him texting and then saying, you ain't, I know you, he said,
I ain't calling it. I see.
right. He said, you didn't see my text?
Oh my gosh, she
I know
said
that's right.
Capricorn.
Yeah, he Capricorn, that's for real. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for joining us, Marty Nicole. Appreciate you being here. So, oh, I got a lot of questions. If I'm
Okay,
not, but
yes, I'm
I'm gonna let
ready.
you, I'm gonna let you go and flow. So I have
Okay.
down having this dynamic relationship with yourself. In the back of my mind, I'm hearing some of y'all need counseling. We need counseling.
Some of us need help. Yeah, some of us actually some of us have trauma that we've experienced in the past that does need to be dealt with. We are
Mhm,
out here attempting to be in relationship with somebody else. However, you have not managed the trauma or the things that you have that may be in the way of you creating a healthy relationship. And so we're thinking that somehow the person's just going to give us that, as opposed to, you are the main contributing factor to that, because your expectations have have a lot to do with what you experience.
mhm,
So when we're not getting what we expect, or what we think we want, there's an opportunity to reflect on, well, what cues did I give off? What did I do
mhm,
that now would have this person disrespecting me? And then also, you may not have done anything. It just may be, again, time to say, yeah, you ain't the one, because clearly, based on how you're operating, this is what you do, and
mhm.
it doesn't work for me.
Yeah. No, all great points. So we are almost to the halfway point. For those of you who may be just joining us, I'm on with Sonia B, intimacy coach, certified sexologist, and we're talking about, are you giving off thirsty vibes?
There are
And let
thirst.
me- Yes, thirst. And I just want to take a moment at this time to say why we are talking about this is because Sonia and I have partnered. We are doing cocktails and conversations on next Friday, February 23rd, at Twin Oaks Apartments in the clubhouse at 6:30. We'll have a cocktail hour. 7:30, we'll have conversations. We'll have hors d'oeuvres. We'll have some signature drinks.
Yes.
Um, Yes, and we will also have some vendors. And so our tickets are $35. You can go to Eventbrite to get more information to get your tickets. And it's a ladies event only. So we're inviting the ladies to have cocktails and conversations with us next Friday night.
Yeah. And one of the reasons that we're doing this is because we get to be empowered such that we have the tools that we need to create the relationships that we want. So,
Mm.
we have, there's a whole lot of conversation on social media about people being challenged in the relationships that we're in, but I think that some of this has to do with us not necessarily being with the tools to create relationship. And so
Absolutely.
that, it's very easy to say it's this and it's you and it's this. And we get to learn. So where do I fit into that? What do
Mm,
I get to do? How do I get to be self-aware and connected to myself so that I'm creating what I really want?
absolutely. So Rakia said operating out of a deficit energy.
Yes, ma'am. You better tell it.
That is
Yes,
it. That is it. And then
exactly.
Dem said some people are simply just not compatible, even if there's something about the other person that you like or love.
Exactly. And so some things you have to be able to say no and walk away to. It's an act of self-love to walk
Yeah.
away that which does not line up with you.
Mhm.
Period.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Hmm.
So the question, does this work for me? Whatever, takes place, and asking yourself that question. And if it doesn't, then I think the decent thing to do would be to express to the person that it doesn't work for you. And
Exactly.
you're either moving on, or maybe give them an opportunity to correct it or fix it or what have you, if it's gotten to that point.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily, you don't even have to attack the person about it. You just get to be
Right.
clear
Yeah, yeah.
about what it is that you want. Like, and so one of the memories that came up for me is for my late husband. Um uh we when we were in our dating stages, when we first started dating, we
Mm,
decided to, because we were in a community of people, we decided to be silent about our relationship. And
mhm.
I wanted that in addition to him saying, let's do that, because I felt like I didn't want everybody's energy all over it. I didn't want folks saying, "Oh, did you hear Sonia's dating?" Yeah, I wasn't interested in all that. And so I was good with, okay, let's find out who we are together without having all of this energy and other people commenting. But over time, it's like it's still, we just stayed in the closet relationship. But I'm like, okay, well, what the hell? And then finally I said, you know what, let's have a conversation.
Okay.
I need to have my head examined. And I said, I need to have my head examined because any man that gets to be with me gets to be would want to be on shouted from the rooftops
Hmm.
about the fact that he's in a relationship with me and and how he feels about me. I said,
Mm.
so, and I'm not saying that your behavior is wrong. You can choose to stay in the closet. That's your business. I'm like, but I'm saying that I'm off base, that I would be with somebody who wants to keep his connection with me in the closet. And so, yeah, and I was very clear. I wasn't yelling when I said it. He's like, actually, I was thinking we need to start telling people about our relationship. That's all you was thinking that? Yeah, okay. Now, in that instance, the red flag was as soon as I said something, now you ready. But
All
that was
right.
another. That's a
All
whole nother red flag. But
right.
but I mean, but in that instance, I got clear that no, I need to have my head examined, because why would I be with somebody who wants to keep me a secret?
Right. No, great question. Um,
Yeah.
we got a few more folks that have chimed in. Miss Constance is on. Thank you for being here. And then Kesey has joined us. Thank you for joining us, Kesey. Kesey actually was the one that did she produced a survey for us to complete. So it's on my both my personal and social media page related to this topic. So y'all please go fill that out, because we want to just poll the people and see what your thoughts are about some of the questions that were asked. All right, Charm
Okay.
City Dynasty, a guy drove 2 hours today to come see me, thinking he was coming to get some Valentine's Day loving. And I stood him up. Talk about thirsty. I gave him a clear message. I was no longer interested.
Not and he showed up with no invitation. It drove 2 hours. Who? What?
No, wow.
Oh,
Oh,
somebody's thirsty and brazen. Like, who the hell? Who you think you are, sir?
right, right, right. All right. Dr. Mika said, is cultivating satisfying singlehood the answer? What does that look like?
Okay. Yes. Now that's the first time I'm hearing that phrase, but I like the sound of it. And that is, it sounds to me like that statement would say being so satisfied with yourself,
Mhm.
such that if you were with somebody, great, and if you're not, great too. But often, like the deficit comment we had, if we're seeing ourselves as a deficit because it's just you, then that may make you jump into something that is out of desperation because you feel like something is wrong with me when it's just me. But if you are having an amazing relationship with yourself and loving your life to the fullest, then anybody else can just gets to come and add. And if they're not adding, you may be like, yeah, well, this is a no.
So let me speak to that just for a moment
Mhm.
because I think from a societal standpoint, single people are looked upon as flawed in some regards.
Girl, in a lot of ways.
I have been I can specifically remember going to a restaurant and the server, I was sitting alone having my meal, and the server asking me where, and this is a female, where was my man? Where was my, why was I sitting here alone? And I said, and just enjoying a meal by myself. It was almost as if like either what's wrong with the men or what's wrong with me that I'm not in somebody's presence or company. And
Exactly.
so singleness again from a societal standpoint is not looked upon favorably.
Right. And what, and it's funny because I think we're changing that. So now you have more conversations with people saying that I'm choosing to be, with myself and, I don't need a relationship to define me. And I think we're going through a transformation where you are having value and,
Mhm.
and you're having value in your inherent value and not because you're in a relationship. And I think it's going to make us the better for it because then when people actually then go into relationship, it's going to be out of choice and not out of, there's a pressure that you be in a relationship and get married and have kids. So we see a lot more people now choosing something else. And I believe that's because we are learning to appreciate ourselves more and to appreciate our own lives.
Indeed. So we got a lot of folks chiming in about singleness. So Rakia said, yes, society is built for couples.
Mhm.
Dr. Mika, I love the post I saw on social. You have to be worth the disruption of my peace. Woo!
Mm.
My Lord. All right. I think that's the winner tonight.
Right.
Jim said single life is the best life.
Oh, he
Okay.
says it's the best life.
All right.
Okay. No,
Capricorn.
and now I would say that there are people though, and I'm sure we have some married couples that say that, and for them, married life is the best life. Like having somebody that you are in a relationship with that gets you, has your back, you get them, and you really love that.
Right.
That's amazing too. But what we don't get to do is disparage people who are choosing to, for whatever reason, say that what, actually, I'm loving myself, my life,
Mhm.
with just myself. And I like saying with just myself because this alone thing that has a whole different connotation where it's like I'm alone. No, actually, I'm not alone. I'm with myself.
Right.
So,
That part. Leslie said, I really only get lonely at Christmas and I'm not flawed. I'm fine, literally. Charm City, I get tired of people asking me why are you still single? Yeah, I
mm.
have gotten that. I'm single because I choose to be. Yeah, I'm sorry. To each his own.
He having it.
uh, Tarsha said exactly. Rakia, you can be both content and being single and still have hopes for a relationship later.
Exactly. Yeah, and love both and say that they're both amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Single life is not the best life, dear Lord. Y'all go back and forth. I can't with y'all. Yes, love the quote from social media. Marlene, I see a lot of people
Mhm.
pass up nice, decent people because they're looking for a perfect 10 or want a guy with swag, etc. Things that aren't going to matter in the long run.
Got
That's
it.
that's an
Yeah.
interesting
So
way.
yes, I mean, yeah, people do have their list and they have the things that they're looking for. And I think that this is less about that list as opposed to you being clear for yourself. Is this relationship honoring you and are you clear about your own boundaries and honoring yourself?
Indeed.
Then I mean, possibly then when you're clear about who you are, you may be able to have a relationship with somebody that is not about the superficial, or
Mhm.
about, maybe some things that are not on your list,
Mhm.
but it's because you're coming from a place of power. Often a lot of us are entering into relationships from a disempowered place. And then
Mm.
we're wondering why we're getting um the responses that we're getting. Um, I
Absolutely.
actually, one of this book that I read a while ago about us single and being and dating, is that often, especially for women, we're at the table wondering if this person likes me, as opposed to wondering if this works for me and if I like the person.
Good question.
Yeah.
All right, good question. Patricia Jefferson is with us. Thank you for being here. She says, "Single life is peace. The only person I have to answer to is myself."
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think I kind of side a little more with Rakia about you can be both content with being single and still have hopes for a relationship later. That's just my personal thoughts.
Yeah.
Let me scroll back. Charm City said, "Why do we choose to stay in the closet? I did that for 5 years."
Girl, I told you I need to have my head examined. It's like I just went along with the flow.
Oh wow.
And then after a while, I was like, "Oh yeah, no, this not gonna work." Mm,
Really?
child, please. Try not to ruffle the feathers and upset the weight. Mm-mm. No.
Yeah. No.
Mm-mm.
We need to shout it from the mountaintop. Be being thirsty is ignoring those red
It
flags.
is. It actually, I would say it's almost like, so being thirsty is an act of ignoring red flags, but also being thirsty would have you ignore red flags.
Mhm.
So when you're acting out of desperation, that would have you overlook things that you should be seeing at the beginning. When you see behaviors that don't work for you, and you pretending like you don't see them,
Mhm.
and you texting the person, they responded, and then you just feel like you're gonna bully them into making them respond, as
Mm.
opposed to acknowledging this is an issue.
Right.
This is an issue. You're communicating how you feel about me.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes, yes, yes. Being back single is a wonderful feeling. Getting your peace back is amazing. Thank you for that, Lakarsha. Kesey, ain't that the truth? Amen to that. All right. And we got Miss Janetta has just joined us. Thank you for being here, Janetta.
Hey, Janetta.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, this is y'all are dropping some gems tonight.
Yes.
Really, 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 really. Keisha, you can have peace with someone else. I'm very family oriented and military cut in many ways.
Got
Okay.
it. You can experience peace with another person. It
Okay.
just requires that you make sure that you are coming from an empowered place.
Yes.
So, yeah, and not expecting the person to provide that for you. It's
Mm,
your job to provide that for you.
it
Your
is your
self-respect comes from you.
it does. It
Yeah.
does. All right, Miss Nina B. I agree that we should decide if it works for us. We focus on what we need.
Yes.
Yes,
Hey, Nina.
we should. Thank you.
That's also my crew from the DMV.
Okay, thank you for being
Yes.
here. Yes, I see
Yeah,
Ayla has joined us too. Thank you for being here, Ayla. All right, Monica. Hey, Monica. She said, "We live and learn. That's what emotionally and psychologically well adults do. It's all good."
exactly. Yep. We evolve and we grow.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. But I think really kind of the one of the purposes of this conversations, because like I said, this is really I'm getting a lot of gems from this in terms of the importance of having that dynamic relationship with yourself, the importance of that whole alignment piece, and what you're wanting aligning with who you are and how you want to be treated, and asking yourself, does this behavior work for me? And if it does,
Exactly.
being okay with it and being okay with walking away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, well, it's similar to what we heard about the deficit. The idea that I can't walk away would give me the idea that maybe there's some scarcity. Like, this is the only opportunity for me. So if I
Mhm.
don't get it from this person, it's not possible. Instead
Mm.
of recognizing that, okay, this doesn't work, and that's okay.
Yep.
It is really okay. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to lose out, and that I'm going, and that I'm going to be miserable for the rest of my life. I have an opportunity to create joy and and pleasure from my life, period, whether I'm with this person or whether I'm not with this person.
Indeed. And Kesey just said that's any relationship.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
is the whole point, Kesey. It is with any relationship, male, female, male, male, female, female, any relationship.
Well, and
That's
also
the way
any
we
relationship.
govern ourselves.
I'm sorry, say that again. I'm sorry,
That's
Nicole.
the way we should be governing ourselves.
Yeah.
Mm,
And any relationship that's not a romantic relationship. That's your job. Are you thirsty on your job? Are you thirsty with your parents or with your kids? Like this is do you exhibit a healthy degree of boundaries that
mm,
work for you? Are you constantly reassessing them? Are you taking a look at, okay, you know what, that maybe I wasn't aware that that didn't work for me yesterday, but now I'm clear it doesn't work for me. Are you
mm,
constantly reassessing where you are and what's preferred for you, and are
mm.
you communicating that? And
Oh,
part of that is, like you said, it's about building yourself. So a healthy degree of self-confidence and
mm,
self-esteem is going to, it's going to do wonders. And actually, when we see that we're out of alignment in those ways, you have the opportunity to take a look at your self-confidence and your self-esteem.
mm.
Like where's the breakdown?
Yep. Very good. All right. Nina said alignment, great word. Sometimes less than relationships pull us out of our alignment with our purpose. So less than relationships pull
Hmm.
us out of alignment with our purpose. Agreed. Um,
Exactly.
he said business and personal. Yes, business and personal relationships. And Marlene, while we were dating, my husband didn't start acting right until he knew I was serious about walking away. Mm,
Sometimes that's what's required. Sometimes people will get away with what you allow them to. But when
absolutely.
they get clear about how important this is, they will shift how they're behaving. Possibly.
Mhm. Indeed. Keisha, I'm thirsty in the Piggly Wiggly parking lot. Just kidding, but they are. I like, didn't you just buy some meat? Hush, girl, get off my line. Get off my line right
Keisha out here wilding.
now, all the way on a Friday night. That's where we'll see her in the Piggly Wiggly
Yeah. Uh,
parking lot. Oh goodness, but I like that comment that Marlene made about, you know, her husband not acting right until you were serious about walking away. Like you said, that's what sometimes the situation commands. You know, if they
yeah.
really do want you to be a part of their lives.
Yeah. Sometimes we may value something, but if we can get away with certain behaviors, we may still try to get away with those behaviors, even if we value the thing. So
Right.
then we've got to communicate that as well. That then almost like having that boundaries drawn in the sand may
Mm,
cause your behavior to shift because you're like, this is important to me.
yes. Kasha agree. Yes. Okay. Woo. All right. So what else you got for the thirsty?
Girl, well, so what I was looking at when we were talking about building self-esteem, self-confidence in your self-worth, there's
Mhm.
the opportunity I was looking at some of the things that you can do to actually build yourself up so that you are able to be in relationship in such a way that you're clear about who you
Okay.
are.
Okay.
One, setting boundaries, and we've talked about boundaries already, but we
Mhm.
get to be clear about what your boundaries are.
Okay.
And boundaries are is a matter of being clear about what you're okay with and what you're not okay with,
Mm,
and learning how to hold those boundaries. Because often, sometimes we'll set them, and then we'll be loosey goosey with them, and we'll just kind of like I said, no, I don't, maybe like you calling me after 11 o'clock, and the next thing you know, it's 11:30, and you're still picking up the phone.
mm,
So and that can be confusing to the other person because you're not being clear in your communication. So that's setting your boundaries and looking at what you really want, and then being clear in your communication about that.
mm,
Let's see. Practicing self-compassion. In a lot of ways, we get to be the most important person loving on you. And so sometimes we're looking for love to come from outside of ourselves, but we're not. The love isn't coming from inside of you. So
mm,
it's like when you're in front of a mirror, what are you saying to yourself? Are you tearing yourself down? Are you saying things? Let's see. saying things that are unkind to yourself? How do you speak to yourself? And sometimes I've actually sometimes even said to clients, like what you just said about yourself. If somebody else said that, how, would you be okay with that? Or if you said that to somebody else, would you say that to your best friend? Well, if
Mm,
you wouldn't talk to that person in that way, then you may want to reevaluate why you're saying it to yourself.
yes. Great points.
Yeah. So tearing yourself down is not going to support you.
Right.
Yeah.
Self-compassion. Got it.
Exactly. Yep. I
Hmm.
also have for you to focus on your strengths, to surround yourself with supportive people,
Hmm.
practicing gratitude. And one of the things that you mentioned, seek professional help if needed. Because,
Yes.
sometimes we have some mental health things that we're struggling with, and we may need somebody to support you with unpacking a lot of that, and seeing some of the places where you have a blind spot where you can't see
Yeah.
some of your behavior towards yourself.
Hmm. All great stuff. All right. Set boundaries, practice self-compassion, focus on strengths. What was the fourth one?
Let's see. Well, I said these out of order. I said surround yourself with people that supportive
Surround
people.
yourself.
Get that
Okay.
one.
People. That
And
was
then
a
practice gratitude, which
yep.
can help you cultivate a positive mindset.
Got it. All
Yeah.
right. And then seek professional help where needed. Yes.
Hmm.
Indeed. All right.
Yeah.
Marcus Boston has joined us out of the Tampa area. He's got a drink and he's laughing. Sonia, thank you for joining us. She said, thanks for inviting me, Nicole. Happy Love Day. Yeah,
Yes. Happy Love Day.
indeed. All right. So, man, this was again really great stuff. Yes, again, great points. Miss Nina, I agree. I agree. Keisha, I may need to be reclassified. My boundaries may be too tight. Will you be doing a dating class, dating 2024?
I know that's right. Well, we're gonna start off with this. Are you being thirsty class? So
That's
this, yeah,
right.
this conversation.
Keisha.
I'm just touching on what we're gonna be talking about
Just
on
touching,
next Friday.
look, touching the surface right here. This is our
Yeah.
precursor, our introduction. So you need to come on Friday, Keisha, and
Buy
join,
your ticket.
buy your ticket, join the conversation. All right, Miss Nina said great points. And Marcus, amen. The counseling to unpack. Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed, indeed. All right. Tanika Joyce, thank you for being here. She said, learning from experience, it's very important to hold to your boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Often what we expect is that the other person is supposed to hold your boundaries. They're not responsible for your boundaries. You are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whew, this is some tough love right here because
I know, right?
we like you said they get a little slippery. Oh, no big deal. It's just 11:30. It's okay.
Girl, it's so easy to slip down that slope though, because you start doing it and before you know it, and I don't know about you guys, but I know from my own behavior, I know that a lot of times when I like somebody, they can get away with a whole lot more. And it's just
Okay,
like, okay, something about I like them though. So now there's
that's
they're
right.
doing these things.
Listen, that makes it all good.
Exactly.
Mhm,
Exactly. So and though I may not understand where you're taking this relationship to. Because
mm,
this can be as much as you like them in this moment. You accepting everything could be just letting it go right on off the rails, and then
mhm.
you wonder, a year down the line, how do we get here?
Yeah,
So that this person is now saying things to me and treating me in ways that I don't want. But we started that.
yeah, we
We
allow.
st- yeah, we started allowing it.
Hmm. Absolutely. Great points. Very good points.
Girl, thirsty.
Thirsty.
Yes, just out here showing out. So
Mm,
yes, I came up with some examples of thirsty vibes. So sliding into the DMs.
mhm. Thir- All right, so we're gonna call this thirsty vibe behavior.
Girl, thirsty vibes. Was shooting your shot. I mean, shooting your shot can be. It doesn't necessarily have to be thirsty, but I
Okay.
mean, you could be just putting yourself out there. Um, let's see. Being extra on Valentine's Day. Let me tell you something, ladies. Some of y'all is doing the very most.
What you mean by that?
Come on, y'all done see. You done seen it. I remember there was one TikTok, or I think was it a TikTok, where the
Uh-huh.
young lady had opened the door for the man, and she can. It was rose petals all the way to the bedroom. She had ran all this big bubble bath. She had on the bed, all of these gifts laid out that she had gotten. Like he had all these expensive shoes that she done bought, like 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. She gave him a wad of money that was this
Wow.
big to start his business. And he was like, this is nice. You're doing too much. Anybody, you know the feeling when
Heard
somebody's doing too much.
I have not heard of women doing this sort of stuff. So
Are you
I'm
serious?
so
Come on
serious.
now.
I guess maybe I'm wrong. I'm watching the wrong TikTok pages or something.
Girl, no, well, no, well, so we sometimes have a tendency to overgive. It's like somehow you think if you give enough,
Uh-huh.
that's going to make the person compensate by giving back. You giving is not what's going to make them give. That's not how that works.
Uh-huh.
So, like, doing excessive gift buying and then having your feelings hurt when what you got in response ain't even close to what you gave them as a gift. So it's
Okay.
like it's like buying somebody's love.
Okay. Keisha said, "Where I been, girl? Clearly, I have not been out there doing all of that. That clearly, I have not."
Out here doing the most.
Right. All right.
Yes.
So Brittany said, "How does a woman who used to be very feminine but became masculine in a relationship try to protect her heart bounce back? I'm no longer thirsty, but I'm thuggish."
I know that's right. She's like,
Thank you for
like
that
jump if you want
honesty
to.
and your transparency, Brittany.
Yes, thank you, Brittany. I think that a lot of that has to do with, again, recultivating the relationship with self. It's like, let me come in, close the door. I might need some quiet time. I need some time to regulate your nervous system, like to get yourself um back to your center, back to who you are, back to feeling that softness.
Yeah.
And for me, actually, I do a lot of work, and I work with my clients a lot around using different words and song, music and energy to get yourself to a space. So it
Mm,
may be just meditating on the word soft and being allowing yourself to feel the vibration. Like it's almost like stepping into that energy because everything is energy.
mhm,
And some of it just may be energy that you have disconnected from so that it feels a little more challenging for you to get into that space. But it might be, so then it may be some things you need to do like bubble baths or soft lighting or listening to music will move you in ways if you just allow it to. It may mean listening to a song that brings you to that space. Like for example, in my relationship with my husband. At one point, we were having some challenges, and he was being very aggressive with me, like wanting to like wrestle and stuff. All the time. I'm just like, look, dude, I don't want to wrestle with you. Go on with that. But then I started focusing on wanting to create softness and gentleness in our relationship. So
mm,
I was focusing on soft, and I was listening to Ballerina Girl
mm,
by Lionel Richie, and just feeling that, imagining him kissing me on my forehead, imagining him being gentle with me.
mhm.
A couple days later, he showed up with flowers. I was like, and he looked bewildered. He had never done it, never bought flowers before. He looked like he didn't even know what he was doing. But I recognized that was born out of the energy that I was choosing to be in. It's like me choosing to have a different relationship with whatever aggressiveness he was trying to come with.
All right. So he's planting and watering seeds over there, Sonya.
What's that?
You said you were planting and watering
Yes,
seeds. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, we get to be, me and one of my girlfriends have this common saying, you get to be the thermostat and not the thermometer.
Sure.
The
Yes.
thermostat sets the
It
temperature.
does.
The
It
thermometer just tells you
just
what the
just
temperature
reading the
is.
temperature.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
Yep.
don't need you just reading the energy. You get to be the one that is determining what the energy is.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. Brittany said, "Thank you."
You're welcome, Brittany.
All right. Tanika Joy said, "Would you consider that based on the dynamic of the relationship?" And I think she was talking about in terms of the example that you gave of the woman, with the rose petals, with the water money, with all of the things that she did. Would you consider that based on the dynamic of the relationship?
I think everything would be based on the dynamic. So you get to read the room. In a lot of ways, we're not reading the room. You're
Mm,
not reading anything. You're not, if that person would readily do the same thing for you and buy you all of that stuff, but the way his response to it looked uncomfortable. It was almost like she had given him too much and he didn't even know what to say about that. It was
yeah.
like, Thank you. So
Uh-huh.
I think, yeah, but certainly in the right dynamic, that might be an okay thing. But in a lot of ways, it may be just over the flipping top
Mhm.
and too much.
All right. She said the thermostat, not the thermometer. That's a word.
Yeah.
Marcus, I think many of us hold back so we don't look thirsty.
And I think that we can in some ways, like you might be trying to do a conscious holdback, but then our energy can be very sneaky where you still exhibit that anyway, even though you don't get that you're exhibiting it. So the
Mhm.
more we actually work on making sure that you are aligned with yourself, then you don't have to like hold back. You can be naturally not thirsty.
Mhm.
Like it's not where you have to try to force yourself not to be thirsty. You could actually really show up as secured in this relationship.
Yes, which is what we want. We
Yeah,
want.
that's really what we want.
Mhm. Absolutely. Okay. So we are right at an hour. This has been a great conversation.
It has.
Yes. So I want to give you an opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell folks how they can connect with you.
Yes, yes, yes. So I am Sonia, Sonia B with Cocktails with a Sexologist. And I love educating and supporting women, especially women, around taking back your power sexually. So we really get to understand who we are as a being and what your expectations are and how to get more of that in the bedroom. You can call me. My number's on the screen, 202-630-2362. I probably respond a lot more quickly to text messages. And you can also check out my website for our upcoming events.
All righty. Very good. Very good. If you all found this to be helpful, please like, please share, please put a word in the comments and let us know if this was beneficial to you. Tanika loved it. So glad I was able to tune in, and we
Yeah.
are too. So glad you were able to tune in tonight. I think it was a fun conversation, but it also was a thoughtful conversation. And so it really, again, has my wheels turning. Okay. Okay. Of course, I
Yeah.
did take notes
Right.
about these boundaries. Woo!
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is all like I forget who had said it earlier. It's a learning process, so it's not about beating ourselves up because we're not there. It is just recognizing I get to grow and I get to evolve and I get to become more of a better version of myself. And so
Indeed.
I think the conversation we're going to have on next Friday is going to be powerful because I think that in a lot of ways these are some of the places we don't think about.
Yes, 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 yes. So if you are a woman in Tallahassee and you are available next Friday, I strongly encourage you to come have cocktails and conversations with us.
Yeah,
Um,
and this is not just for single women. This is
yes.
for married. Because if you want a relationship or you want a relationship, you could be thirsty. So we get to
You could be. You could be. Yes. Monica, I like what you said about boundaries, but I think we should also set real boundaries that we are comfortable with, not the boundaries of our friends and family members. Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah, authentic boundaries.
Indeed.
Oh,
Great.
so what time? Tanika asks, "What time is it?" It
It's
is
30.
6:30. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Miss Nina said that was good. Lakarsha, amazing. Thank you. You're welcome. Kisa, this was very good. A true blessing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brittany.
that's pretty.
Um, Marnie Nicole, amazing. Glad I was able to join. Glad you were too. And Tanika, we are at 6:30 on Friday. So you can go to Eventbrite. I've posted it on my page. I posted some more. Sonya B has it on hers as well. Marlene, this was great. Thank you, Marlene. Patricia, awesome topic. Thank you. Keisha, I love you all. We love you too, Keisha. In the
Yes, we love you. Thank you.
mm-hmm. Tanika. Okay, wonderful. Evrakia, wonderful. All right. So, for those of you who may be new to the platform, I definitely invite you to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. We are here on Mondays and Wednesdays live at 8:30 p.m. And our focus is on mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities, encouraging us to get our checkup from the neck up and be our very best selves. So, thank you, Sonya B.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm
I'm
so
so
glad.
excited.
I'm looking forward to this first, what's it, cocktails and conversations. It's going to be
Cocktails
phenomenal.
and conversations. Agreed.
Thank
Agreed.
you.
Yes, Key said make sure y'all complete the survey. So it is on my personal page on the Conversations with Nicole Facebook page. So yeah, complete the surveys because again, we want to get some hear your feedback and your thoughts about this topic. Tanika, perfect timing. Thank you, ladies. You're welcome. And yes, Marcus, Conversations with
Thank you.
Nicole. Yes.
Yes.
Appreciate you here. All right, good people. You all have a great rest of this love day. Show some love to yourself.
Yes.
Yes, show some love to yourself and don't be giving off those thirsty vibes. We gave
Girl.
you all a whole blueprint. You can replay this. You can replay this, share this with your friends that may be giving off thirsty vibes and
Right.
give yourself some grace and hopefully we'll see y'all, the ladies, on next Friday. Y'all have a good night. Peace.